Okay, so in this video, we will be talking about the first few weeks up to the first month of being a pre-registered nurse here in the UK. Now, I've divided this into two parts, and this is the first one. And like I said, this talks about being a pre-registered nurse. And the second part, we will be talking about how it is after passing the OSCE and getting your PIN. So keep on watching and get a general idea about how it is being a pre-registered nurse here in the UK. Hi, my name is Jargon, and I'm a Pinoy nurse here in the UK. Now, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please go ahead by clicking on the hyperlinked watermark right here. So before you actually go to the clinical area, there are things that you would need to sort out. So you might need to go to your HR and, finish up some documents, take your photo ID for your badge, and of course you also need to sign for some things, including your pension plan, so which, by the way, you can opt out of, which me and my wife did, because we don't have any plans staying here in the UK for too long. We don't plan on growing old here, retiring here in the UK. So we opted out of the pension plan, which you can do because you don't want to be paying the UK government like money which you will not be using anyways when you grow old, right? After being taken to your ward, you will then be introduced to the people you'll be working with. So either one of the sisters or clerk or any representative of the team will be walking with you, introducing you to people, orientating you to the ward. It was actually my senior sister who introduced me around. So we met at the ward office and she took me to the nurse's station and introduced me to the team. And one of the very first things that she talked to me about was the e-learning. Okay, so on your first few days in your hospital or wherever it is you work, may it be in a nursing home or a private hospital, you will be expected to be spending some time in front of a computer. Doing what, you ask? Well, you'll be doing e-learning courses. A lot of employers nowadays, they do most of their orientation courses on the computer. This eliminates the need for a trainer doing the training face to face, so that the new employee or new hire will be able to educate him or herself. So this is expected of us as new nurses here in the UK. We need to be proactive in completing these e-learning courses. Basically, your e-learnings are computer-based courses that you need to take in order for you to become officially part of the team. These are courses that are required, mandatory, for you to be able to practice safely within the hospital. So throughout your first few days in the hospital, you need to allot a certain number of hours to complete the e-learning courses that are mandatory. So part of these e-learning courses include those that apply to all healthcare professionals, including fire safety, mental capacity, DOLS, manual handling. They may also include courses that are more specific to your role as a nurse. Let's say, for example, patient-controlled anesthesia, medical gases, blood transfusions, VTE preventions, things like that. Now, what we need to remember about these e-learning courses is that a lot of them are time sensitive. So you need to complete them, let's say, within 3 weeks of joining the company or the hospital or the trust. You need to complete the courses, and also many of these need to be done annually or every 3 years or every 6 months. If we don't complete them, we will be flagged, and you will be having a conversation with one of your managers, I assume. You do not want that to happen, so you really need to put some time into finishing these courses. Now that I think about it, I haven't completed my e-learnings yet. Patay ako sa bad 7 ko neto. A lot of these employers actually allow the employees, like us, nurses, to open these e-learning courses outside of their facilities. So you can actually open them and do them at home if you wish to, if you are that type. Because doing these e-learning courses, you cannot just hit like next without actually reading their content, because many of these you will need in your practice. Let's say, for example, certain policies about particular drugs, they may be included in the e-learning courses. So we need to go through them, especially with the laws, because here in the UK there are a lot of laws that we need to be aware of. Let's say, for example, the MCA or the dole safeguarding. These things we need to know. And as overseas nurses, we have no idea about these things because we don't have them in the Philippines, right? We really need to spend some time knowing these things and just read through them and let them sink in, you know? So it's not a good idea to just be hitting next, although I must admit,
I am guilty of that.
now in your first few weeks, or at least a couple of weeks in your new job, you will be put on an induction period. So what's this? This is where you are still considered a supernumerary member of the staff. Now, in your induction period, this is the time where you can be makulit. Magtanong ka ng magtanong. You're not part of the head count yet on your induction period. That means you're an extra. You're technically not there. So you can go ahead and ask questions. Ask the senior nurses how certain forms are filled, how certain procedures need to be done. Like, say, for example, how to use the blood sugar monitoring machine, the ECG machine, where you can find the medical error, how to control the bed, how to use your Dynamap, or how to use your observation machine. Because we need to remember that during our induction period, this is a very sharp learning curve, because we are not only learning the nursing skills, we are also learning about the people, the culture. And mind you, hindi lang iisang culture yung inaaral natin dito. In the UK, if you're expecting to be dealing with or working with white people, mga like British English people, like yung mga puti, well, you will be badly disappointed because napaka-varied ng group of people dito. Now, in your first few days or first few weeks on induction, make sure that you let your senior nurses know about the things that you can and cannot do, the things that you are comfortable of doing, and the things that you haven't done before. Like me, when they asked me to do an ECG, I've never used their ECG machine before, so I said no. Well, not flat out no, but I said, would you be able to show me so that I can do it on my own moving forward? Because right now, I do not know how to use that machine. Be honest with what you can and cannot do, what you're comfortable of doing. You need to let them know so that they can show you, they can train you, and help you become a more competent nurse. On this induction period, you are expected to sort out your logins, because you will be using software to help you out in doing your nursing responsibilities. Many of these systems will include those that you use in recording the drugs that you administer, the system that you use to record observations, the system that you use to request for certain procedures, tests that need to be done, imaging tests, booking porters throughout the hospital, and reviewing lab results, etc. Yeah, you will be using a lot of systems. So on my first day during my induction period, we did the handover, and I was there sitting on the corner, observing, like pretending I'm not there because I'm still really shy. So I was listening to the person handing over for the next shift. to us. And I've gotta say, I was overwhelmed with the number of abbreviations that they use in a hospital. I was like, so what's FWB? What's TBS? What's OGD? Oh my gosh. What's all this? What are they talking about? I had no clue. And at that time, I started to get really worried because I had absolutely no idea what these abbreviations were. So I was like, oh my gosh, what have I gotten myself into? Okay. So maybe I exaggerated there a bit. But do not be overwhelmed because you have your induction period to learn all these. Okay? Don't worry. Don't worry too much. Don't. Chill. So within this induction period, you will also be given a specific time for OSCE training. Now, in our trust, the new overseas nurses are given 1 week of formal classroom-based training, wherein 15 or so of the new overseas nurses will be together in one class, assisted by several trainers or assessors or invigilators, however you want to call them, and they will help the new nurses in preparing for the OSCE. So that's 1 week, 8 hours, Monday to Friday, and the new nurses are also given 2 more weeks to prepare by themselves. So you can spend those 2 weeks with your group, just practicing by yourselves. So I wanted to interview one of my colleagues for this video. However, she's camera shy. So she opted on sending text messages instead. And here's what she has to say. As you can see on the screenshot of her messages, it says here that they have 1 week of preparation with the hospital. So this is the 1 week formal training course for the OSCE. They also have regular sessions with the nurses, Pinoy nurses, who have had this exam before. So it only goes to show how helpful the Filipino community here is. It also says here that as part of the training, the hospital does provide a mock OSCE exam just to help prepare for the actual test. Now, if those 3 weeks is not enough for you to prepare for the OSCE, what you can do is to request for an annual leave for another week or 5 days or however many days you want to just supplement in your preparation for that exam. So like what my colleague did, she requested for another week to do an intensive training by herself and her group to prepare for the OSCE. That is what me and my wife also did when we were preparing for that exam. We requested for another 5 days to prepare, which really helped and just boosting that confidence further before we actually flew to Northern Ireland to do our exam. So request for an annual leave. If you think you need it, talk to your senior sister or your sister, band 6 or band 7, and just tell them that you need more time to prepare for that exam. I mean, people here are generally not difficult to talk to, especially when it comes to annual leave, because that is your right as an employee, regardless of how long you've been there. Anyways, thank you, Shella, for answering my questions. And before I end this video, I just wanted to share with you that we have already reached the first 100 subscribers in our channel. Alam ko na mag-post na siya sa 100, pero yung sobra nun, mga friends and relatives lang na pinili ko lang mag-subscribe. So for those of you who have subscribed, I just wanted to say thank you. So that's all we have for this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please go ahead and do so and check out my other videos as well. So once again, this has been Charwin, Pinoy Nurse, here in the UK.